Hi everyone. I have two books for you again today. This time it's If You Give a Moose a Muffin and the book called 2. We've read one kind of like this that had the big number 1 on it, right? Well, today is 2, and I actually have to teach you something before we start this story. In this book of numbers, we learn about odd and even numbers. What is that? I'll teach you. Here's a quick example. The number 1 and the number 2. The number 1 would be called an odd number. Think about this. If this was a piece of candy and we wanted to share it, we couldn't really share it very well, could we? Because either you would get it or I would get it. It would not be fair. It wouldn't be even. So he's not an even number. He's an odd number. But let's talk about the number 2. Is this an odd or an even number? Think about it. If this is a snack, you get one and I get one. I split it in half. You get one, I get one. That's fair. This is even. That's how I kind of distinguish odd or even, if it's fair, if it's the same amount for both of us, if we split it in half. Let's talk about the next number. What about 3? Is this an odd or an even number? Let's rip it apart and see, okay? So you get one, and then I get one, and then you get one. So you have 2, and I only have 1. Is that odd or even? It's odd. The number 3 is an odd number. One more. It's this number. 4. There's 4 total, right? So here we go. You get one. I get one. You get one, and I get one. The number 4 is fair. It's an even number, right? Because we both have the same amount. So let's get started reading. Maybe this will help you understand a little bit more. 2 by Catherine Otashi. 2 by Catherine Otashi. 2 was a playful number. She was curved on the top and straight on the bottom, and friendly and warm like the sun. Her best friend was 1. Whenever they'd get the chance, they'd dance. She'd sing and snap, and he'd tappity-tap. What a pair they made. At the end of each day, they'd always say, 1, 2, I'll count on you. Till the end, we'll be best friends. Until 3 jumped in between them. You 2 are like glue, said 3, poking fun. Shake things up, come play with me, 1. Odds are better than the rest, but 1 and 3 are the best. 2 felt a shift. She watched 1 slowly drift away from her. 2 felt left out. Can I play too? She asked. You've had your time to play with 1, answered 3. We're playing odds only right now. That doesn't seem fair. 2 was blue. What did I do? 1 left without a word. Is it because I'm even and they're odd? They're both odd? Let it go, said 0. Just ignore them, added 4. But 2 couldn't let go. At every turn, what did he see? 1 playing with 3. 1, 3, odds will be, they'd say. 2 felt a little green. That means jealous. Her heart felt sick and she began to crack. The evens rushed over to comfort their friend. Such a shame things aren't the same. 3 is silly, said 4. One can't be best friends with 3. It's unlucky, said 6. 1 and 3 are just plain odd. Let's get even with those odds, exclaimed 8. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound nice. 5, 7, and 9 overheard that chatter. What's the matter? There's nothing wrong with being odd. Evens are great, stated 4, 6, and 8, sometimes even greater than the odds. 0 saw the numbers collide. Why did everyone need to take sides? 5, 7, 9. We're all odd and we're just fine, shouted the odds. 4, 6, 8. Being even is first rate, yelled the evens. 0 watched this hullabaloo. She raced over to 2. The numbers are dividing. Now the odds are at odds with the evens, and the evens want to get even with the odds. 2 felt split. Oh no. But what can I do? She asked. Half of me doesn't care about that odd pair. Maybe it's time for me to be done with one. That's the smaller side of you talking, said 0. You're greater than that. The evens and odds are in a fight. What if you can make things right? Can you find it in your heart to see a new angle to this possibly? 2 thought, and then, "You're right," she exclaimed, flipping herself around. "It's me. I can be less than I've been or greater than I am. The choice is mine." That's another math symbol. Less than or greater than. Bigger or smaller. 2 pulled herself together and stood up tall. "I have something to say to you all," she said. "It's not easy to say, but I've come to see it's tricky to dance when there are 3. One should have other friends, and the same goes for me." 3 drooped. "I'm sorry, 2, he said. "I see now that playing the odds wasn't fair to you." "Well, here's where we can all agree," said 2. "When the dance turns and shifts, let's groove and flow. If you're holding too tight, let go. Dance to your own beat. Do your own thing. Be free to explore what the new day can bring." "Explore," cheered 4. "Dance and mix," said 6. "Rock and roll," said 7. All the numbers. "Shake it up," they shouted. Soon all the numbers were dancing together, moving and grooving, shimmying and shaking, and spinning around like tops. "It's fun to dance with everyone," said the numbers. 2 spun faster and faster, round and round. She got so dizzy that, oops, she bumped into 1. He teetered and toppled and almost fell down, but 2 caught him. "Sorry," said 2. "Me too," said 1. Both said nothing for a while. Then 1 said softly, "Hey, 2, can I still count on you?" 2 looked at 1 and said, "It's the end, and guess what? We're still friends." The end. Here's our other story. If you give a moose a muffin. This is by Laura Numroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. Had a lot of these books this week. If you give a moose a muffin. Written by Laura Numroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. There's words here. It says, "For Alice and Emily, the 2 best sisters anyone could ever possibly want." That's from Laura Numroff. And from Felicia Bond, she wrote, "For Antonian, Nahum, Jennifer, Santos, Brian, and Crystal." Those must be people who are very special to them. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. And when he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another. And another. And another. Oh, when they're all gone, he'll ask you to make more. And you'll have to go to the store to get some muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. And when he opens the door and feels how chilly it is, he'll ask to borrow a sweater. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons are loose. And he'll ask for a needle and thread. He'll start sewing. The button will remind him of puppets his grandmother used to make. So he'll ask for some old socks. And he'll make sock puppets. When they're done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He will need some cardboard and paints. And then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. And you'll bring him a sheet from your bed. And when he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. And he'll try it on and shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much that he'll knock over the paints. Uh-oh. What a mess. So he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. And he'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside to put it on the clothesline. And when he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bush. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some. And chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. Thanks for reading with me today.